Hello. It's been a while, and how's it going? Welcome to the ninth podcast. So, I want to really quick say some things because I know that it's like, hey, what's been going on? What's happening? Why has it been 2 months since a podcast? Well, to answer your question, it's that I have a bit of trouble with finding people because there are all of these amazing, incredible people that are in the community and I want to do podcasts with all of them. But if I did it on a weekly basis, then that would create problems as I'd have run out of people really quickly. So I've jumped between these two, but I've decided that instead of doing a podcast every week, it's going to instead be every 2 weeks. So that's why I'm doing it. I want to do it so I can kind of extend the lifespan of this before we have to go back to the old people. But anyway, we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about our amazing, wonderful person here. So some of you have probably known her for a while. I've known her for a very long time. Fluffy Nuffkin and Red Loves Media, welcome to the stream. We have Mythical-Mishmash here. She's been here for a while, and she is the #1 Whirlpool fan in the world. So, say hi.
Hi! Oh my gosh, yeah. I am Mythical-Mishmash, aka the Eerie Equine, aka Cat, aka Whirlpool's #1 fan. I am British and no, I do not like tea.
You're British and you don't like tea. Well,
Nope.
we got that out of the way quickly.
I break the stereotype right now.
Yeah,
Okay.
so yeah, it's quite a stereotype. But let me really quick say something that I forgot to tell you earlier, and just as also a reminder for the people that have not been here before. We start off for a few minutes with a quick introduction. We'll get to know you, and we'll kind of become acquainted and all of this, so that the other people here can get to know you. We'll talk for about 45 minutes about Wings of Fire and all things related to it, and then at the end we'll take a 10 to 15 minute, or however long it wants to go, really, Q&A session.
Okay.
So it's a very loose schedule, and I mean it can change, but that is the schedule. The goal is to keep this around an hour long. So we'll be done at around 5 o'clock for my Eastern friends, for my Eastern Standard Time friends, and then for my people overseas in Great Britain, it will be 10 p.m. So yeah, so I mean, let's talk about you first. Is there anything interesting about yourself, or anything that you want people to know about, or anything like that? By the way, all of her social media are down in the description, so go follow her on those, or go buy a shirt from her on her Redbubble. Go do all of that stuff. And yeah, I think that go and support her. But yeah, do you have anything interesting about yourself, or anything you'd like them to know about you?
Well, in regards of the Wings of Fire fandom, I'd left back in the day, in 2017. I left for a year because of all the drama and stuff, really bad stuff, and it was only recently that I came back.
Right.
Yeah, because of a few heated moments every now and then, but it seems to have improved since I was last here.
Yeah. So it definitely has improved for the better, and that's a good thing. 2017 was a very dark year. It was a year where
It was a bit of a topsy-turvy year, I think.
It was awful. But past that now, it's 2019 already. We recently had the recently released book 12, The Hive Queen, come out, and this focuses on Hivewing cricket, and takes place directly after the events of the first book, directly after the 11th book, and it's a pretty interesting one. I think it's a very strong entry in the series. What do you think about it?
I think that cricket is secretly the Globglogalab.
Perhaps, because she loves books, yes.
This makes the true treasure trove.
Yeah, so we are not going to be talking spoilers. Next time, like the next stream in 2 weeks, we'll start talking about spoilers, and then there will be this little thing right here in the bottom right, so you guys just if we're talking about any kind of spoilers or not. So just letting you guys know that's there. So that's not there, I mean, but next time around it will be. So no spoilers will be discussed. If you haven't read the book, great. That's just
Yeah,
fine.
it's not so.
But from that point on, I suggest you avoid these streams until you finish the book. Anyway, so is there anything else interesting about yourself, or is there?
Well, 9 is my extremely unlucky number. I am grateful to be here because I've been wanting to go on the podcast for ages. So thank you very much.
Wait, did you say it's an unlucky number?
Very unlucky. I've been plagued with it for my life.
Oh my god. Well, yes, this one will go just fine, I think.
Well, I hope so.
Yeah, we actually meant to do this about 2 weeks ago or so. We meant to do this quite a while ago, but it kept getting put off and off and off. But I mean, we're here now.
It's
So
2019 now, and my horse will be 9 years old this year, and it's just
Mungo?
it just says bad luck all over it. So hopefully it's not.
Mungo? Or
Yeah, Mungo.
Yeah. Okay. Well, so you are. This is not a Wings of Fire thing, but you are writing a book.
Yes, I am writing a book, or it's in the research process at the moment. It's about mythical horses all the way around the world. I call it eerie equines at the moment.
Oh, okay. So that hence your name.
I'm not sure where I'm going to take it at the moment, but I'll definitely be brainstorming that later in the year.
Okay. Well, that'll be interesting to see. So, I mean, if you guys are into that type of stuff, you're into, as she called it, mythical horses around the world, then just follow her and kind of keep up with what's going on. So
yeah, there's all art and stuff on my Instagram and DeviantArt. It's all there if you want to see it. It's all behind the scenes.
yeah. Hey, Base. I was watching Smash Ultimate gameplay, but there's no way missing this live. Hey, a hurrying cat. Hello.
Hi.
I love her. She's the greatest person. But yes, Wings of Fire now. So
Wings of Fire.
Wings of Fire. So we are on the third arc now. I started reading these books after the third book was released. So between the third and fourth book, and the fourth book came out in 2013. Which is...
Goodness me, you are an old-time fan, aren't you?
That is wild. Honestly, that is absolutely wild. But, wait, would it be? I think so, yeah. I think it would be there in 2013. Because it came out July 1st, 2012 was the first book, and then December, and then June, and then... Yeah, so it would be 2013.
I started reading the books when Escaping Peril was about to be released, so that was like 3 years ago, I think.
Okay, so it's been a while for both of us.
Yeah.
But yes, I've been in the Wings of Fire. I've been into Wings of Fire for about 5 years, and I have been into the community for about 4 years. So I've loved every minute of it, honestly. Minus 2017.
I've been in the community for about a year and a half because I left for a bit. So
yeah. But
it's been a bit stable.
Yeah, there's 2 book series that have basically defined my childhood, and that is Warriors and Wings of Fire. It's those 2 series, and honestly, I'm glad for that. Wings of Fire is such a good series, and it teaches you good lessons, really.
Oh, it's oh my god, its messages are so inspirational. It's really moved me as a teenager, and they've stuck with me. Even now.
Yeah.
The character development, the world building, everything about it's just beautiful. I can't describe how much I love this series.
I can't either. Honestly, I think it's just a really good message. It's such a simple one too. Of the first arc. The first arc's message is you control your own destiny. It's so simple, but it makes so much sense.
You can relate to each protagonist, no matter what book it is or what's happening, whatever. There's an element to each character that you can easily link yourself to
Hey,
and
Cameron.
grow with them as the chapters go by.
Yeah, I think that's really cool, and I think it's really admirable when there's like this whole underlying meaning between everything. I think that's a really, really cool way to put some kind of message in a book. Give it an underlying meaning and stick with it. I'm having a little bit of trouble. I had a big session of thinking a few nights ago, and I thought to myself that, hey, the message of the first arc is control you do what you want, not what everybody tells you to do. Do what you
It
think
basically
is.
says you do you.
Yeah, and that's really cool. There's nothing wrong with that. That's a really cool message to have. But actually, I'm really quick gonna put myself on do not disturb on Discord just in case. So anyway, anyway, I was thinking about this, right? And it's basically each thing is a message, right? So I was thinking, what's the message of the second arc? The third arc is I think the third arc is basically um seek the truth against adversity. So you have in the second arc, and this or the third arc, and this isn't a spoiler for book 12, though book 12 obviously plays into this. Throughout, like the 11th book, for instance, Queen Wasp can control the Hive-Wings through mind control. She can mind control them, and they every single Hive-Wing then can basically do whatever they want, and they're at Queen Wasp's whim as soon as she does it. So throughout that whole first book, our heroes are trying to figure out the secrets behind the Book of Clear Sight. And they're trying to figure this stuff out, and they're trying to really get down to the nitty-gritty and understand what it all is, despite being, fought at every turn. And in the end, they figure it out. And I won't say what it is, but they figure it out, and that's really cool. But what is the message of the second arc?
In the second arc, oh my gosh.
That's
not everything can go your way, and you'll have to find your way around it. No?
I guess, yeah, because they tried to set up this whole thing. I know it's not really the case, but I like to put Darkstalker into the second arc also, because it's the same idea. Darkstalker was only mentioned in the 5th book because he was just Sunny wrote a message and they said, "Oh, it's the Darkstalker."
I don't even think TV had established Darkstalker as a character even then, until
Yeah,
came around.
I think it was just like lore about
it was just an old legend.
Yeah. Second arc, there's always a loophole. I wouldn't call it a loophole. I'd say there's always a way. Because a loophole means that you're intentionally trying to bypass something.
Yeah.
But
I think way. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's it. But yeah, I think that's really cool having a message.
The deeper the message, the more it will stay, which makes you a better person. Don't mess with Darkstalker.
Don't mess with Darkstalker ever, because he's a bad boy.
He's very bad.
So, your favorite character, let's talk about him.
Oh, yes.
Yep, Whirlpool. Whoa, what happened? Hold up. Whoa.
Oh,
My
yes,
entire...
Whirlpool.
Everything is dying. Hold up. Everything is dying.
Hold the stream.
Okay. Okay, we're good now. I think. Can you hear me fine?
Yeah, I'm fine. Can you hear me?
Yes, okay, perfect. So... Okay, so anyway, that was weird. I'm sorry, but anyway...
I killed the stream, I think. I got too excited.
Well, okay. Well, so Whirlpool is... Actually, you want to explain who Whirlpool is? Unbiasedly as possible. Just say who Whirlpool is.
Oh, okay. As unbiased as possible. He is this. I don't know how to talk about him without like fangirling over him. Hang on. So he's this Queen's assistant guy. Everything that I love that other people hate, and people have made assumptions about him which aren't true, so they think that he is what he isn't. Does that sound clear?
Uh, I guess. I think I can kind of. I think I might be able to rephrase it better. Basically, Whirlpool was a member of the Sea Wing Council. If you aren't aware, or if you just forgot, the Sea Wings do not have a necessarily a monarchy as we know it, like the Sky Wings or the Ice Wings or whatever. Basically, they have a council. They have like a parliamentary monarchy. So the queen talks to the council, and the council makes decisions. The queen obviously makes decisions too, but the council also makes decisions, and they control various, branches and parts of Sea Wing society. So that's kind of what the council is, and Whirlpool is a member of the council, or he was a member of the council.
He's also part of the Queen's Scroll publishing thing, I think.
He might have been, because Coral was, or Queen Coral was a was very big on that. Was very big on sending that all out. So at some point when when Anemone was found out to be an animus, Whirlpool started to teach her how to use her animus powers, despite not having animus powers himself. So he was just really, really, he was just really, really bad, a bad guy in the eyes of the public. But I assume, Kat, you think that he was a good guy.
I think he was. Well, he was an average guy to the public, but really, on the inside, he's as slimy and devious as anything.
By the public, I mean the community.
Oh yeah, yeah, of course. Oh my gosh, he's looked upon as this horrible. Address this quickly. I don't know where this came from, but assumption about Whirlpool predated against no towards Anemone. Sorry, my words are very bad. Whirlpool's predation towards Anemone. Where did that come from?
His
Read
predation.
the book.
What do you think?
I haven't. I don't get any vibes about that. I don't think he's a creeper. I don't think he's targeting Anemone in any way at all.
He wasn't. I don't think it
That's,
was Anemone specifically he wanted. He just wanted one of the queen's daughters.
in order to obtain power. So
Yeah.
how does that make him a predator?
The reason it made him a predator was because Anemone was still a child. She was like, I think she was either 5 or 4. She might have
In
been
the
even
book,
younger.
I think he was 1 year old at the time, but in equivalent to the human age, that's 8.
Yeah, she's around 1 or 2 years
That's
old.
quite young. And Whirlpool is around, I'd say, 15 years old at least. So yeah, there is quite a difference there. But the point is, he is not a predator towards Anemone, and he just wanted her so he could get power over the kingdom.
Yeah, and then once Whirlpool, or once Auklet was born, he said, "Oh, I'll just marry Auklet if I can't
He was going
marry."
to wait until she was old enough to marry.
Uh, if I remember correctly, Anemone was married to him, maybe, or engaged to him. I don't think he was. I don't think they were ever engaged.
No, they won't. He was going to have offer his hand to her when she was old enough to marry.
Hmm. Uh, yeah. Let's see. He was also written as slimy or sleazy. Yeah, I'm looking at the wiki right now. Here's the first sentence. Whirlpool was in. Get ready. Okay, you ready? You ready, Kat?
No.
Whirlpool was an egocentric, egotistical, vain, ditzy, and narcissistic male sealing whose voice has been described as both
That's him.
smarmy and oozing by tsunami and oily by turtle.
That's him. I don't know. The reason I like Whirlpool so much is because he's such a classic and entertaining villain in my eyes, anyway.
He's like
and it's very.
Yeah, he's like a Disney Channel villain, basically.
He's almost like a Scooby-Doo villain.
That's actually that's a better interpretation.
Yeah, he's like the villain revealed at the end of the story, and I have you now, my pretties. I'm going to reveal everything about my plan to you. Oh no, I'm dead.
Yeah, dude, that's a terrible way to die, though. He got knocked into a pit of like a pool of electric eels and got shot to death.
But at least he was unconscious when it happened. But no, what I actually like about Whirlpool is that he was so close to actually succeeding in his goal. He was actually quite a threat. He was quite a potential threat. What Darkstalker became in a lesser extent, of course.
Yeah. They confirmed his they basically confirmed that he died in Talents of Power in Book 9. They confirmed that he actually died instead of him, possibly living. It's possible for Sea Wings to survive electric shocks, but he did not.
Well, I wasn't saying that he would come back. I'm saying that he did have the potential to actually
live.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's see. Hold on. There was something funny that I saw. Okay. I'm reading the trivia section on Whirlpool's wiki page because it has usually a lot of interesting stuff. So it says here, Whirlpool created an ink mixed with whale blood and squid ink to make ink that never fades, though this does mean he and Coral are left with permanent stains on their talons. That is symbolic.
Yes, actually, yeah.
Because that means that there's blood on his hands, and there's blood on Coral's hands. Whose blood, though?
Because Coral is oh my gosh, she's like the most insane queen next to Queen Scarlet, is she not?
Coral? No, she's one of the more tame ones.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I'd say battle winner.
She mercilessly tortured and killed Tortoise right in front of everyone, including her daughters, and threatened to do the same thing to Tsunami.
Oh, you've got a point.
Exactly. Because she's so overprotective of her babies, I think it sends her into a blind rage, and that's what caused Tortoise to bite the dust.
Oh, man.
So yeah, she's a wild queen. I like her, but I don't like her. She's scary as hell, and she made me scared of dentists.
Yeah, so that's...
You forgot about that, didn't you?
I did forget about that. I thought that she was fairly tame, but think about this.
Also,
here's the thing. I think that was actually kind of justified, and here's why. So Coral and Gil tried for... Coral would be chaotic good, Peril would be chaotic evil. I think... I wouldn't say chaotic evil for Peril. I think that she's probably chaotic neutral.
Who?
Peril.
Chaotic
because
neutral.
she could... Well, I think she might actually be like a pure neutral character. Or chaotic neutral would be better.
I'd say she's more like a... What is it? An anti-villain?
Oh, Scarlet, not Peril. Peril would be chaotic... yeah, Scarlet would be chaotic evil. Coral would be chaotic good. Morin would probably...
She would definitely be chaotic at something, wouldn't she?
Well, yeah, Scarlet is a very evil queen. She was a very evil queen. I think it was a really cool way how she died, though, Scarlet.
But slipping over and breaking her neck, yeah,
Well, she didn't
that's really
slip over
cool.
and break her neck. Tourmaline killed her. Tourmaline snapped her neck.
But if Scarlet hadn't slipped over on a bloody wet rock, she would probably still be alive for another few minutes.
Whoops, crack.
Whoopsie.
Whoops.
I'm sorry. Oh, it's so true, though. Oh,
Just slips on a rock.
Could have died a bit more.
Slips on a rock, breaks her neck, and dies. I love that. That'd be a hilarious way to kill off. She fell and she couldn't get up. I think that would be a funny way to send off Scarlet, but I think it wouldn't be a good way, you know?
Whoopsie.
I uh yeah, I really like though. I really like the I really like the way that she died.
Yeah, I do too. I do too. But it's that one little detail that just makes it a bit off.
Yeah. But yeah, she just completely destroyed her basically everything she cared about. But it's cool because Ruby is now the queen. But
Better option for a queen than Scarlet ever was.
it's weird that she decided to turn into Ruby again. Oh, I see. Here's why. Here's what happened. I forgot. So Ruby and Tourmaline are the same being, right? They're the same. They're the same. And the reason that Tourmaline turned into Ruby was because Scarlet put an earring on her that changed her into Ruby and made her super like passive and refuse to fight and challenge, right? That's why Tourmaline turned into Ruby. Then there was this whole battle, right? And Ruby challenges Scarlet. And the earring is destroyed. Ruby becomes Tourmaline again. And then she says, you know, for the Sky Wings! Snaps Scarlet's neck. And then says, hey, here's what I'm going to do. I think it'd be better for everyone if I stayed Ruby, but with all of my memories. Because it basically wiped all her memories. Actually, I think that's what it did. It didn't make Ruby completely loyal, or Tourmaline completely loyal to Scarlet. It's just that it made Ruby have no memories of her being Tourmaline, and, you know, then came all of that. So I think that's what happened, and then she said, hey, we're going to take Tourmaline... I want to turn back into Ruby, but I want to keep all my memories. But she also stayed as...
Yeah, that's right.
She also stayed as Ruby for Cliff, for her son, which is nice.
Yeah.
Oh, Cliff, you're adorable.
Cliff. I want to see Mommy kill Grandma.
Oh yeah, I want to see Mommy kill Grandma. I love that.
He was so cute.
And then her little "We the Dragons of the Sky" song.
We the dragons of the sky.
I refuse to sing it.
Dang it.
No,
you don't have to.
It was 90, 65, 90 person me when it came
Oh my
to
god, that's so cute.
yeah, something. I love that. It's
I haven't read that book in such a long time, but yeah, I remember him quite well. And Scarlet's amazing, most dignified death.
Though Ghibli is roughly based off of Tui's son, Elliot, Cliff has said he is the one she said resembled him more. I love that. Tui said Cliff is her favorite minor character. Cliff hates his grandma with a burning passion.
Burning passion. I see what you did there.
Well, no, that's just what it says. But I guess
Oh,
that's
we,
funny.
we can make that fun, okay? We can just make that fun.
Yes. I love that though. I demand a fanfic. Imagine they did a Winglets in the future about Cliff.
I don't know if it will happen, but I imagine that if there is a fourth arc, it will be all about the youngest dragonets, like a few years later. Um, them, so like Cliff, Orklet, probably not Peacemaker, but
Ooh,
the other little dragonets that we've seen.
it'd be fun to have Peacemaker there because Peacemaker is not Darkstalker anymore. It's an
Yes,
entirely new
but he isn't.
character. Here's the
Yeah.
thing, right? When I whenever whenever Tui gets backed into a corner with her writing, she introduces a new character, right? So, like Io, for instance. Io shows up, saves their lives, never is heard of again.
Sorry, I forgot her name. I thought her name was Plot Device.
Huh?
I thought her name was Plot Device.
Oh, yeah, basically. But Io just kind of disappears. And,
And, uh,
yeah, so, yeah,
she's
what,
just gone. She just puffs out of
yeah,
into thin air.
I'm trying to think, what
And
could
she's
she
never
have,
mentioned again.
right. Like, she isn't even mentioned. The characters don't mention Io again.
No, not even her own brother.
Yeah, but, anyway, she just adds in a new character whenever she backs in the corner. And that's fine if it's done right, and she does it right most of the time. But,
She
you know what?
seems to
Here's what we'll do. Instead of just adding a new character, we'll just change this entire character from one of the most feared dragons in Pyrea to a little dragonette who loves
oh,
strawberries.
I wouldn't have such an issue with the Peacemaker thing if it had been done a bit more. I don't know, like if Darkstalker actually agreed to it, because he was such a miserable dragon. He was already lose battle. If he had actually like thought about it a bit more and came to terms with being a new dragon, it would have been much more plausible to end the second arc.
Yeah. Uh.
Because
Yeah.
he's such a good villain. He's probably one of the best villains I've ever read about.
Mhm.
And how he went out was just
I think it was a good ending.
why.
Okay. It's ready. Unpopular opinion time. I thought the 10th book was really, really good.
I do.
I mean, a lot of people say that that was one of the weakest books, if not the weakest book in the entirety of Wings of Fire.
It makes me.
I would argue that the 4th book was, but the 10th book was a very strong book in some aspects, but weak in others. I think it was an average book when it comes to like
Yeah,
the nitty
yeah,
gritty,
I'd say that.
but it was still really good.
It
And
had its moments. I really liked it, but the end of it, the last few chapters, was just so hard to get through.
yeah, it's the longest book in the series. It's longer than Darkstalker, I think.
Yeah,
It is. It's longer than Darkstalker. I'm looking at the books right now from my desk. The 10th book is
it's an
longer than
extra thick
Darkstalker.
book.
Yeah, but I think it was still really good. It had to wrap up everything, and that was difficult because Tui has this whole thing with you cannot leave any loose threads. You can't. You have to tie everything together, and you have to
Thing
make sure
is,
that it all comes
she did
right.
leave quite a few threads flying, I think.
Oh yeah, like what?
Yeah, there's so many conclusions that were never met.
Like what?
Particularly with side characters like Sora and Umber and Icicle.
Well, Soar was just Chameleon.
I'm sorry?
Soar was just Chameleon.
Like Sora, the Mudbring.
Oh, Sora. Oh, okay.
She just, again, like Io, she just popped off the face of the earth and she's never been addressed again.
Hmm. Yeah.
I have a feeling that she and Umber might come back in the third arc, but uh, I don't think so at the same time.
Um, yeah, I think that it'd be cool to have Sora the Mudwing. I th Wait, hold on. I think Based is onto something. Let's hear it.
Yeah.
Sora from Kingdom Hearts. Oh yeah, huh?
Uh,
Kingdom Hearts 3 just came out.
Oh.
Sora the Mudwing is in Kingdom Hearts.
Oh. Are you saying that Sora is an anime character?
Well, it's not really anime, but
Okay. I know squat about Kingdom Hearts. I'm sorry. I'm not a big gamer anymore.
oh,
Completely blind
hold
to
up,
this.
hold up. Listen to this. As the ad, as of the end of Moon Rising, she is on the run with Umber, one of her brothers. It is unknown where they are going, but Tui confirmed that they were going to return in the third arc.
Oh.
So
Oh,
Sora,
really?
yeah. So Sora is coming back, and so is Umber. Both of them are coming back. Just we don't know when. I think
Oh.
it won't be in this next book because I mean you know why and what's happening. But I
Yeah.
do think that it'll be in the fourth book.
Yeah,
That's Sora.
either 14 or 15, because each book has a different character. No, has a character from a different tribe, don't they?
Yeah.
We go back
Well,
to a silk
well,
or a hive wind or
well.
whatever.
The point, the reason of that is because there were more than 5 tribes. There were 7, right? Now there's 3 Pantalan tribes. So I think it's going to be in this order. Blue. It's going to be Blue, and then Cricket, and then Sundew. That's confirmed. We know it's those 3. The 4th book and the 5th book, I think the 4th book is going to be Swordtail, and the 5th book is going to be Luna.
Ooh.
I think that's
You
what's
see,
going to happen.
I really don't know where the third arc is going, so I can't really like determine or estimate what character's going to be where.
I mean, yeah, you could kind of guess. You could say, okay, the 7th book just came out. It's winter. Peril is probably going to be next, or maybe Turtle, or maybe Kibli. But for this, it's a bit different because you know there's the 3 new tribes, but then there's the old tribes, and there's like this whole thing and whatnot.
They're obviously going to come together, I think.
I think so, but that's kind of bridging into the realm of spoilers, so let's kind of stray away from that.
Yeah.
Uh, again, yeah, we're not talking about spoilers for book 12. That'll be next time. So, do you want to go into the Q&A session, or you want to talk a bit more?
I don't mind at all.
Up to you. We can talk a little bit more about whatever, or we can go into a Q&A session.
Honestly, we can go into Q&A. I don't mind. I really don't mind.
Okay, so we're going to start a Q&A session. Type anything that you want in, and we'll talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
Fourth, Kinkajou. 5th, Bumblebee. Oh, Bumblebee! Poor Bumblebee!
Bumblebee.
Well, not poor Bumblebee. I love her. I love her so much.
He was so adorable.
Wait, is it a he or is it a she?
Hey.
Oh yeah, it is.
Baby girl.
Wait, no, Bumblebee's female.
I think if we ever got a book in Bumblebee's perspective, it would just be her dialogue going blee boo blah blah blee blah.
Yim.
Flip flap flop.
Okay, well, anyway. You want to hear one of my theories? Sure, let's hear one of your theories.
Every time.
Should Kinkajou have a book? She's definitely not getting a book. She's confirmed to not get a book. because
I really don't think she needs a book.
she's not getting a book. It's Tui said that she is not getting a book. She might get a winglets, but definitely not at like a full book. And that is because I think it's because she is already a developed character. The reason that these characters are getting books is because they need characterization, or they need like some kind of expansion on their lore. That's that's what
And
they
they
need.
have an arc to get to, so
Yeah.
they have something to develop towards.
Yeah, so they need some kind of expansion on their character. Like Peril. Peril was a very interesting character in the first book, but that's all we saw of her. Okay? She has a lot that she can be done with, so they dedicated the eighth book to her, and they gave her some expansion as a character, and they made her better. Kinkajou doesn't need that because she's a very simple character.
Very simple.
She doesn't have too much of a personality. She's just very happy all the time, and she's very active and hyper, and she's very simple. She doesn't.
She was alright in the first arc, but after, what was it? Actually, on book 10, she turned into such a out of character dragon.
Yeah, she became very different, and she's just a very weird character overall. But she doesn't need a. She doesn't need anything. So. Yeah, that's why. That's why. There's all that. So let's see. You guys think Wings of Fire will work as a TV series? I remember a petition going around for it before the graphic novels came out. It was kind of debated for a while for the validity of it. I would say maybe, because
Depending on whose hands it falls into, it can be a yes or a no.
yeah, here's why I think it's a maybe. I think it's a maybe because there's so many books. It'd be difficult to make something like that because animation is hard, and it's following a story. And if you were, say, dedicating one season per book, kind of like what Game of Thrones is doing, that'd take a really long time. It'd take a really long time. So, I don't know. Maybe. I'd love to see it, personally, but it'd be difficult to do. Here's a theory. Pyrea, according to me, might have been created by an animus, or a member of each tribe that was an animus, like the first dragons. It would explain the strange weather shifts from kingdom to kingdom. What do you have to say about that?
Oh, where is Pyrea? Like, there has to be dragons. Or it's established. Am I right? No?
I mean, yeah, I don't know about that, because there were dragons. It's just that we don't know exactly what the scorching is. That if we learn what the scorching is, that will change everything. Because it's been
when dragons decided to experiment with their diet and got too carried away with it.
Well, I think that basically the general consensus of what the scorching is that it was the time in history when dragons overthrew humans as the dominant race. That is the general idea, or the general consensus as to what it is, but there is no proof. So, I mean, yeah, nobody really knows. I think it's just strange that the Ice Kingdom is right next to the Sand Kingdom. Yeah, that's just bad world building right there. That's just bad world building, because that just doesn't happen.
The Ice Kingdom is right in the middle of the rainforest and the the Sand Kingdom is right next door to the Rain Kingdom and the Ice Kingdom. So I think it really depends on how big Pyrea is in order for those planets to work.
Yeah, so here's what I'm thinking, right? Take a look at Africa. In the northern part of Africa, it's the Sahara Desert. And that desert goes really freaking far, and it's just desert. That's it. There's some towns like here and there and whatnot. But then you go towards the south. You go towards the south, and it becomes more lush and green. So South
Yeah.
Africa, for instance. South Africa is pretty green, and it's a pretty nice looking place. But then you go to somewhere like Libya or Egypt or Morocco.
Nothing but sand.
Nothing but sand, save for the coasts that border the Mediterranean.
Yeah.
But it's basically just sand. So I think that the Sand Kingdom and the the Sand Kingdom and the Rain Kingdom being next to each other makes sense.
Yeah.
Mountains and taiga and cold next to a big hot desert, though. Well, I mean, that kind of also makes sense because the reason that it's cold on the mountains is because of high elevation. But I don't know. It kind of like bridges off. It just turns
Geography
from...
isn't my strongest point, so I have no idea where to go with this.
Yeah, well, I think that's it. I mean, it just makes sense. You can't have something really cold next to something really hot. It just doesn't make sense because they'd cancel each other out or whatever, or they just wouldn't work. Also, I did do some math in it, and it took me a while, and I conclude that wherever planet Pyrea is set on is very close, if not as big as Earth. I couldn't give you proof without advertising. Sorry. That's fine. I'll give you a pass. Just go ahead and post whatever.
Isn't Pyrea set in the Draco constellation?
There's no proof of that.
Okay, I thought it was like said somewhere.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's just referred to as the Dragon Planet.
Yeah.
It's not. It doesn't have a name.
Yeah.
So.
Any other questions?
Yeah. Are there other questions here? Just gotta be, something.
Anything.
Favorite book? When are you finishing that drawing? Hurry. Oh, it's done. I just have to upload it. You can check it on my Instagram base. It's there. But my favorite book is the second book or the sixth book. Or actually, no, Darkstalker is my favorite book.
Mine. It's very hard if you put it in that way. My most favorite Wings of Fire book is. It's definitely a tie between Darkstalker and The Lost Heir. Just so good.
Yeah. Let's see. It's on your channel. Okay. But yeah, I kind of wish that there was some kind of, name for the planet. Whenever the next time that Tui has an event, I've checked her events page like every day and she hasn't updated it. It's not updated. I'm going to check again. Yeah, guys, the next event is October 20th, 2018 at Cincinnati, Ohio. If you guys want to go. But I mean, it's just we don't know when the next event is because she hasn't updated it in months. But next,
I wish I could go and see her.
yeah, it sucks. I feel bad for the people that don't live in the United States because that's the only place she goes. She hasn't gone outside of the country for an event.
No, she needs to come to London, please.
Perhaps one day, but
And I'm dead or something.
yeah. But I think that the next time someone goes to one of the events, ask what the name of the planet is. Actually, here's what we're gonna do. 3 things, okay? Well, actually, 2 things, since we already know this. Or 3. Yeah, we will do 3 things. Number 1, what is the name of the planet? Number 2, what is the scorching? Number 3, how large is Pantala compared to the rest of the planet? Pyrea is a third of the size of the planet. It's a big continent. It's very big. It's larger
I
than
don't
the
think
entirety of Asia.
I don't think Pantala is that big at all.
Yeah, it can't be.
Mainly because it was described as taking only a day to get from one part of the continent to the other. I think it's very much smaller than Pyria, anyway.
Yeah, it definitely is smaller than Pyrea, but we don't know by how much. Because it's obviously a very big place and there's a lot of different climates. So, yeah, I mean, we don't know. Alright, is there anything else that you guys are wondering or have questions about? Because if not, then we're going to end it. Stick around to the end, though, because I do have some extra stuff I want to talk about. So stick around. But are there any more questions? We'll take one more.
Make sure it's a good one.
Yes, make sure it's a good one. Oh, I gotta answer the obligatory "what did you have for breakfast" question, because that comes up every time. I had Special K. It's really good.
I had chocolate cereal.
Chocolate cereal. All right.
Why? Because I'm weird.
All right. Well, yeah. There's the obligatory "what did you have for breakfast" question. And any other questions, or I guess not. So, really quick, I want to make a couple of announcements. Thoughts on the cover of Book 13. It looks really, really good. I really like it. I think it's really nicely made, and I would show you guys, but I don't want to go through the hassle of downloading it and then putting it in as an image on the podcast and then switching it over and then taking it out and then deleting it. I don't want to do that. So you guys can just go and, you know, take a look yourself.
Yeah, Joy-Ann, she never disappoints when it comes to the covers. I don't have a least favourite one. This one is just as astonishing as all the others. Although I think one of the legs is a bit funny, but other than that, it's fine. As for the graphic novels, however,
Oh, no.
I think you've seen enough on my Instagram stories to know about what I think.
Yeah, I really like it, honestly. The covers do keep getting better. I like it. I know that it might not be, you know, the most anatomically correct or whatever, but I really like it. I think it's really nice.
The graphic novel cover.
It's pretty. It has lots of nice colors. Glory looks beautiful. I really like it.
Well, let me just put it like this very quickly. There's a fine line between stylization and broken anatomy. Say on the topic.
All right. Well, here's the thing I was thinking. People are talking about how Glory's neck is too short or too long in some things, right? So here's what I want all of you to do. All of you in the chat and you too, Kat, and I'll do it too. Sit back in your chair or sit straight up, basically, against anything, right? Sit straight up, okay? Kind of put your shoulders back and whatnot. Now, I want you to stretch your neck as high as it can go. Just do it.
I don't extend and go back like a tortoise.
No, just do it. Just stretch your neck as wide as it can go. Or as high as it can go. Do it. Really.
Yeah.
Have all you done it? Good.
Yeah,
So you do that, right? Now, it's basically the same thing with Glory.
No, it's not.
I think it is. Because, I mean, yeah, it scales, right? But
he's a slinky dragon,
the point
okay?
I'm trying to make here is people can make their necks longer, they can make them shorter, right? And they kind of, you know, contract in upon itself.
They don't cut off sections of their necks and then stretch them out like Play-Doh.
But it doesn't look like there's any, you know, additions of, be it fat or skin or whatever it might be, right? The same thing is applying with Glory. She doesn't have any, you know, like wrinkles or flaps or anything like that on the base of her neck because it just can extend or not extend. I think that's what happens. Now, it could just be me over analyzing it, which is likely the case. but I think that's what happens.
You're overanalyzing it, I think. And don't get me started about the rest of her anatomy, because it's just by somebody who thinks they know how to dragon, but they don't.
Okay, well, there's my point.
Graphic novels, but I don't like the art. I'm sorry.
I'm still excited for it. I'm still excited for the Lost Air graphic novel, because that will be coming out on February 26th, which is on Tuesday. It is 4 Tuesdays from now.
Oh god.
End of the month.
I'm so looking forward to it.
It is canon that rainwings have long, snaky necks. Yeah. That makes sense.
They're not short, stubby things.
Okay, well, anyway, really quick, I'm going to make a couple announcements, and then we're going to end it.
Okay.
Those of you that are excited for the awards, the Wings of Fire Awards, the final voting is up. Go to my DA account, and you guys can go and vote there. The voting ends at midnight in 2 weeks from today. That's when it ends. And then it's going to close for a week, and then the following week is when the actual ceremony is. So you guys have 14 days to cast your votes. Then that'll close at midnight, and then it's another 7 days before the actual event occurs, the actual ceremony, at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is 5 hours behind Greenwich Mean Time, or GMT. So there you go. That's a really quick announcement. Also, I know that some of you have been waiting quite a while to see some new podcasts. Here is what's happening with that. Basically, some of you weren't here at the very beginning, so I'm going to say it again. The reason that I haven't done anything in a while with this is because I want to stretch out the length of the podcast. I don't want it to end, because there's so many amazing people, and I want to talk to all of them, but I will run out of people if I do every week. So from now on, it's going to be every 2 weeks instead of every week. So the next podcast will be on Saturday, February 16th. And the following one will be on March 2nd, and then March 16th, and then April 6th, and then April 20th, and it'll just keep going on like that. Every other Saturday, basically. Same format. Introduction, Wings Fire Talk, Q&A, lasts about an hour. Same idea. Nothing is changing except for the schedule. That's it. So I want to get to everybody, and I want to start talking to everybody, and I want to make it a good time for all, but I want to make it last a little longer. That's all. So I already have somebody in mind for 2 weeks from now, and I think that you guys will like whoever is coming on next. So also another thing is, if I'm going to be kind of testing it out every 2 weeks. If it does not work, if I still feel like we're running out of people too fast, or if whatever, or for whatever reason, I will change it accordingly. So if this doesn't work, then we'll do it once a month, which I don't want it to come to that point, because only 12 podcasts a year, best case scenario, is not that great. I think that instead of it being 12 a year, it should be 24 a year. That'd be nice. But that's it. That's the end of my rambling. Go vote for the WAF Award, for the Wings of Fire Awards, if you have not already. Find it on my DA page. Go ahead and vote, and that's it. So, thanks for coming, Kat.
Thank you. I'm sorry if I haven't made myself clear, but I have really enjoyed being on here.
Well, that's good.
Me.
Well, I'm glad you had a good time. Now it's over. So now you go back to being a normal viewer, as everyone else has.
Okay.
But yes, thank you guys so much for coming, and we will see you guys at 4 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time on February 16th, 2019. Take care, guys.
Bye.